Hi, we're going to talk about Sardonyx today because it's my new favorite stone, and we are going to talk about it with Diane and Val. And these are two crystal surgery practitioners, almost instructors already, and they said they'd come and help, and guess what? They are sisters. And I'm just enjoying this sister energy. Everyone needs a sister. If you don't have one, you got to go get yourself one. So I've got myself two.
You do.
Oh, feels great. Thank you. Thank you so much. So Sardonyx is my new favorite stone among all the other favorites, of course. I can hear some of my former favorites going, what are you talking about? And I'm going, shh, calm down. There's room for everyone in my heart. And here we go. So what's going on with this Sardonyx? It has been inserting itself in the beginning of every single session I'm giving because it just brings that energy back together again. And I've been wondering why. Why is it so powerful? I've looked it up. In crystal surgery, we have one procedure that uses Sardonyx, and we use these wands. These are like massage wands. And we use the Sardonyx to pick out what we call anger hairballs. Because just in the same way as a cat licks itself, and then the fur sort of rolls up and forms a ball in its alimentary tract, which the cat cannot excrete or expel in sort of ordinary, regular means, we don't know what to do with our anger, and we don't know how to release it and let it flow out of us via safe expression of anger. And so instead what we get is these little rolled up balls of anger in our energy field, and the Sardonyx can pick them out. And we use this kind of like salad tongs, don't we? We go in and we pick up the anger hairball and we throw it in the bowl like that. And we go through the energy field, picking out the anger hairballs. Okay, so those are my two Sardonyx ones that began teaching me about Sardonyx. And then I got these palm stones. And I just love the look of it. I mean, to me, this is like the most beautiful artwork. I just love them. So fabulous. And I put these under the calf muscles, and that also helps with a flow of anger and gets a dissipation of anger to release out of the energy systems. You really don't want anger to be caught in your energy system, because if there really is a cause for cancer, it's trapped anger. Really, and you'll find, if you ask anyone, they tell you that their relative or friend died of lung cancer, and you ask them, was that person sort of stuck with unresolved anger? And they'll say yes. It's been 100% so far since I've been researching it. It's very interesting. And trapped anger is very toxic, but anger is a natural, creative, and constructive experience. It's just that our society doesn't know how to handle it. Rage and violence are not constructive, but anger itself can be very creative and constructive. There's nothing inherently wrong with anger. It's just not well handled in our society. So Sardonyx helps us with that. But as I was saying, this stone here, which I'm totally in love with, it's got this fabulous active point. It's got this gorgeous black, which we'll get to in a moment, started inserting itself at the beginning of every session. And I was like, okay, what is going on with this? And I looked it up in Melody's book, and really there's just 3 or 4 paragraphs saying what Sardonyx does, and the answer wasn't there. And I was getting frustrated because I found that book as a reference really, really, really reliable. And the other day I thought, you know what, I'm going to find out what this Sardonyx is doing, and I'm going to look in the book again, and I'm going to really do the research. So I go back to Melody's book, I have a look, and there's the information that Sardonyx is a combination of Carnelian, so that's raw Carnelian, plus Onyx, which can be black, so this is actually Onyx, this part of the Sardonyx, and it can be green, so this is a Sardonyx sphere also. Then this white part over here, that's Chalcedony, and the Chalcedonies include the jaspers, So, for example, this bloodstone, which is a beauty also, that's a jasper. Actually, this bowl is chalcedony. So what you're talking about with these different names is you're talking about a different microcrystalline structure. They're all related to each other, and they come out a little bit differently. But the whole thing was fascinating. So then I followed the discipline, and I went further in Melody's book, and I said, okay, it's Carnelian, let's look it up. It's Onyx, let's look it up. And it's Chalcedony, let's look it up. And basically, at the end of it all, it's a miracle worker, because all three of those stones have extraordinary properties, and I encourage you to look them up and read it. It's too much for me to just talk about here, but I will say this one thing. This carnelian, the name comes from the word carni, and the word carni means flesh. And when I saw that, I nearly fell on my back, because you know what? In tissue regeneration, in crystal surgery, we use these three wands. You can just pass them down, Val. Okay. So this one here is what brings in the etheric tissue from the etheric realm, and it's got the carnelian here. And you literally have to paint the carnelian energy back into the energy field. You can pass me the metamorphosis quartz one. Mm-hmm. So you use this metamorphosis quartz end on this wand, and you literally paint across the carnelian into the energy field to get all this chemistry into the energy field for regenerating tissue. And then lastly, you use that one over there, and you paint with the aqua aura end. You also paint in tissue to the energy field. If you hold that one, you hold that one, and I'll hold this one, and we'll hold the three wands up. And it all begins with carnelian, which means flesh, for tissue regeneration. Isn't that amazing? Didn't know that, but still it came through. It got downloaded nice and clear for crystal surgery. How fantastic. So there we are. And how about we explore a little bit? But wait a sec. I just want to share in this sphere, you can't see the carnelian, you see. But in some of these spheres I just got, you can see the orange of the carnelian. And there, it came out very clearly. So the white in this sphere, this white, that's clearly the chalcedony part. The black is clearly the onyx, and the orange is clearly the carnelian. So I just got, look at them. I'm so lucky. Look at this. It was like getting treasure. These were the best Sardonyx spheres, and I got them at Elite. And I have a whole stash of them now. I love them. Right. Should we get on with it?
Yes.
You want to experience
Yes,
the Sardonyx? Okay. Okay, so we're going to do Sardonyx, and for this setup, I think let's put the Kashalong under the feet, because we are releasing anger, and we do want something to help us with that. Okay. So if you can put those under the heels, please. That's good. All right. And then, because we've got these, we may as well place these under the calves.
Okay. Just put them under the high calf.
Yes. Okay, so then when you fiddled with somebody in the way that you just did, where you moved her around, it's quite good to just hold the feet for a moment and tune in and calm both of you down. Very nice. And it's helpful to feel the space around you. So if you feel the wall behind you with your back, feel the ceiling with your crown chakra. Just let your energy open up. That's nice. And now you're literally grounding her through your own being by holding her feet and letting the energy run into the ground. So you're earthing her. And then I'm going to place this Uvite on magnesite. These are uvite crystals, red uvite. And you can see it's red uvite. You can see the other side is very red. Otherwise it looks black. It's kind of like licorice. It looks black until you hold it up and see it with the light shining behind it. That's when you see it's red. Garnet is like that too. And Vivianite looks black until you hold it up to the light and then see it's green. It's a lot like licorice. All right, so I like to have a root chakra stone. And that helped you, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You doing okay there?
I am.
Okay, so this is what the Sardonyx has been asking me to do, is to take it, and I literally start here, and I only use one stone, and I infuse. And what I'm doing is I'm going around clockwise, and I come into the center like so, because that does help organize the energy. The stone's a little bit on the big side for the size here. And most people have ridges where their jeans are. You just have to learn to work with that. Don't touch people's clothes. Don't undo buttons on their behalf. It doesn't go down well. It's okay until it isn't. It's one of those. Now, she's your sister, so I'm going to let you do what you like, but it's all in the family. But just
Thank
remember
you,
that
Val.
sessions aren't
Yeah.
like that. All right, so then we go in through the side and around, and she's absolutely loving this.
Mm-hmm.
It's having an instant effect, and that's what it does. I had this client the other day, and he said, Viv, what was that stone that you used on me at the beginning? And I said, it's Sardonyx. He said, have you got some for me that I can wear it? And I said, no, but I got a little sphere that you can carry in your pocket. And it changed him a lot, and he needed the help for sure. So I take my time with it and then get into the heart chakra, and again, there can be clothing issues, so we'll just be careful with that. And then through like so. And you can see you have to match to the person's pace, not go at your own pace.
Okay.
There we are. And once again, Diane, she can't keep her eyes open. It's too relaxing, and it's a very much an altered state of consciousness. So it's an irresistible impulse to let go. And you can see how I'm coming here and releasing. So I do the legs. Would you like to do her legs?
Sure.
Do you want to choose one of those?
Excellent.
Did you choose carefully, or did you just grab one?
No, this one popped in my eye.
Okay, it's a beaut. Let me
First.
see. Oh, look, it's got a little cave. I love a crystal with a cave. Do you want to show
Yes.
the cave? Okay, so you do her legs and I'll do the top, and we'll see how we go. I promise you can't get enough of this.
Can't.
And I've only experienced it at the point of dispensing it. I've actually not received it, and I can't get enough of it. It's so interesting. Wow, it was a big release.
It was.
Phew. Is it a bit too strong having two? It's okay?
Yeah.
Is it nice?
That's very nice.
Oh, okay, good. Because sometimes it can be overwhelming to have two people working on you at the same time, so that is something to check on. Don't just assume more is better. It can be too much. But I can feel Val's energy and what she's doing hooking into what I'm doing, so it feels pretty good.
It's tingly.
Tingly.
Tingly. I like
Yeah.
it.
As in energizing tingly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's do this arm too. Of course, normally I'd walk around and be up here, but I don't want to turn my back to the camera. I'm working from this side. And then I do like to go in a bilateral chakra motion on the palms. Even do the fingers. Isn't it nice?
It's nice.
Not to press too hard. Here at the abdomen you can have a little bit more firm pressure. It is comforting. Nice. Now there are some stones that I use on the head and the face, but I haven't been using Sardonyx on the head and the face. I keep getting a no from the Sardonyx, no, not that.
Okay.
So I don't use it on the face. But down at the feet, you do that foot and I'll do this foot. It's very, very nice. See, now I'm going in a chakra. Do bilateral chakra movement.
Okay.
That's right. I'll match to you. Go a little slower. Match to me now. There you go. Good.
Okay.
And then look up at her head. Yeah. Now she's smiling. Yeah. Good. Okay. What's the report, Diane? Is that a nice way to begin a session?
Yes.
On the table?
It's so relaxing and energetically you can feel tingling.
Yes. Yeah.
Really neat.
Yeah. Do you feel more ready to face like an issue or problem that you've been putting to the side, didn't want to think about? Anything like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it is more relaxing. It does make you feel like you can.
You can.
Yes.
Yeah. It's strengthening in someone.
Yes.
Yeah, because I kept asking the Sardonyx, what are you doing? And it showed me it's bringing the pieces of energy that feel shattered and scattered, bringing that energy back together again. And it's reintegrating us in a very profound way that we know when we feel shattered and scattered and we can't focus our minds, and we're told, pull yourself together, but how?
Yes.
This is how.
Sign me up for box.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened to me. I got a box of them. All right, so shall we pick out those anger hairballs and see how to do that? All right, I'm going to give you my new pair. Please note, my new pair of Sardonyx wands.
Now, Viv, with the infusion, do you do that prior to basic prep, or you just kind of follow your guides and...
If it's a client who's been coming a lot, I can do it before basic prep.
Okay.
A brand new client, just begin with basic prep.
Okay.
It's much better. Because basic prep is taking away what the person sort of has carried in with them that's kind of sticking to the outside of their energy field, and you don't want to be including that in the session. But someone who's coming regularly, their energy field is not full of old clingy bits of who knows what.
Okay.
And so, you know the client, and you can tell, and you can get a read of that. But someone that you don't know, definitely begin with basic prep.
Okay.
With someone that you do know, you can begin with Sardonyx.
Okay.
Okay. With someone who's been having sessions and so on. Okay. But I prefer not to use my own judgment. Not because I don't trust my own judgment, but because my judgment is like so, has this perspective. But if I ask the spirit guides, they have a panoramic view.
Okay.
Their judgment is about a much bigger picture than my judgment can be about. So I have found that just handing over to the spirit guides and saying, what should I do? And they tell me, and that comes out best of all every single time. I don't even notice myself asking the spirit guides anymore because I'm always consulting them.
Okay.
Integrated into the session.
Automatic.
It's absolutely my first option. What should I do? And not only the spirit guides, I ask the crystals.
Okay.
And I ask the body. That's why I'm going to ask, like this knee keeps talking to me.
Okay.
What do you want, knee? And it says, it wants a special bit of Sardonyx just for itself. You see, it's sore. I can feel it. What's wrong with your knee?
I just fell last night.
Oh, you fell on it last night.
Scraped it up pretty good.
Oh, you scraped it up so well. Oh my goodness, see, and it hasn't stopped talking to me. So now I know why, and that's why I must listen. I must listen. And it's very good when I'm listening because I get those answers. So now I can go in and say, okay, Nee, let's get you sorted. Now the other question that I can then ask her energy system, but I'm not going to, is why did Diane fall? Because an accident is an accident. And an accident registers in the energy field before it happens. So she must have been a bit upset about something. Then that causes you to be a bit clumsy. It disaligns you, and then you get clumsy when you're disaligned. Then you have the fall. So something was going on. Now we're not going to make her tell us in front of everyone, but she's laughing in consent. And now I'm in. And I'll tell you what else will help. This is the lepidolite in mica lingam.
Okay.
So if you want to just no, you won't be able to find it, but we'll get there. And in the meantime, we'll just use the Sardonyx. And the Sardonyx here is saying, stop using the white part, use the onyx part. That's what she needs. So it's shouting at me.
It's bossy.
It's very bossy. Very, very bossy. Wow, that really did connect differently.
I was going to say, I could tell. It was
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. It wants to be stabilized, so it actually wants you just to hold it there. Do you want to hold it there? Come and stand here so you're not reaching awkwardly, and you can use both hands. And I'll come here. It's very stabilizing, isn't it?
It's a nice therapeutic pulse.
Yeah. And if you look at her face, her skin color has evened out and she is brought back together again, literally. And that's Sardonyx. It brings you back together again. Isn't that cool? Oh my gosh.
Very soothing.
So we could do a whole lot more of that, and maybe you will after we finish. But that will get the energy moving in the right direction, and that's what you want. You can't complete things. What you do is you get things moving in the right direction. That's energy work. That's everything. Everything you want in life. Get it moving in the right direction. That's the key. All right. Let's set that aside for the moment. Just leave it over there where it can affect her knee. Like we can put it there and it will. Oh, it wants the black. It wants the onyx. Bossy. Don't let other people tell me what to do. All right. Look at these beauts. This is my new pair of Sardonyx ones with the green onyx on the tip. And then the onyx bands and the Chalcedony bands. Isn't that fantastic? I'm going to let you use that. All right, so you're going to, I'll do this side, you'll do this side, and we'll pick out the anger hairballs. We each need a bowl.
Okay.
So here's one and here's one. And these bowls are great because they just rest on the table. So as you pick them out, then just dip the hairballs in there. I'll get my set from here. Okay. And off we go. So I just let the Sardonyx ones guide me, and so here's one under the arm. Pick out the hairball and dip it in, and here's one here. And it's kind of seamless. They just appear to me as I go along. Now this isn't because Diane is an angry person, it's because she's human. And you mustn't think that any human being can get away with never being angry. Suppressing and repressing anger is the worst way to go. Rather make hairballs and let them be picked out. There's one at your ear. Yeah, come get these on this side here. Did you cuss when you fell on your knee?
Yes.
It's giving me tattletales here.
Were you drinking wine when you fell on your knee?
No.
Well, next time drink wine and you won't fall on your knee.
That's right.
Yeah, rescue that knee. You don't want that knee to have a fall as well. Here's one. There's not that many anger hairballs. Nobody's done this before for you, have they?
No.
Yeah. You're quite clean. You obviously know how to express your anger some of the time. It's good. It's good. It's really good.
Her husband's from the East Coast, so they're very passionate with their.
Oh, that explains all.
Yes.
A louder voice. It's absolutely amazing when you go to the East Coast and they're like, "Hi, how are you?" It's like, why are you shouting?
Yes.
And it's not shouting, it's enthusiasm. All right, let's give a scan and let me ask the system, is that enough? There's one hanging out here that's sort of kind of doing this, flashing at me, saying, me, me. Let me get it out so this is in the line of your ear, so it affects your hearing. It's quite a big one. Can you see it, Val? Can you see it? It's just like a haze.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just a haze.
Okay.
You're never going to see a hairball. There isn't a hairball.
Yeah.
It's an
It's
analogy
kind of a different
to say
energy
that's
vibration.
It's exactly right.
Okay.
It's a different energy vibration that creates a haziness. And you just
Okay.
pick it out, and it clears actually quite easily because I think of what we did with the Sardonyx.
Okay.
So there are other things that you can do to prep for this, but everything else that we did had already prepped her. It was okay to go right in. Now there's one over here. I'll just get that one out. And do I see them? I feel them more than I see them. They
Okay.
pull me and I go, oh, yeah, and then I get a yes. It's
Okay.
a kinesthetic experience. It's a mind screen experience. And then that other visual of the haze, as you described it as, oh, it's like seeing a different vibrational frequency. That's exactly right. Yeah. How's it feel? Anything?
That's great. It's interesting where you're working on my knee and then you put the Sardonyx under. I felt a couple different times, like a circuit almost of energy going down the calf.
Yes.
And in the front is really interesting.
Yes.
Good.
Very good. And it's good to have these experiences because when you're working on someone, that's not the experience that you have. When you receive it, you learn in a different way, don't you? Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, and the few times that I do get on the table and people work on me, I go, oh, no wonder people come back. No wonder they like this. It's like a kind of a revelation almost
Yes.
for me. Okay. And I encourage the two of you to get together and actually explore these things. Let Val experience what you experienced and so on.
Okay.
And, that's how you want to go forward and explore it. And just because you've done it before doesn't mean that you know it. It's the repetition that teaches. The repetition with the same person, repetition under different circumstances, that's how we learn what we're doing. So there we are. Any other questions about Sardonyx?
I don't think so.
It's amazing.
Are you convinced? Are you
I am,
convinced?
yes.
Yay, my job is done. Thank you. Excellent.
Right.
Thank you so
you.
much.
Thank you.